chemistry class. When the announcement came over the intercom. Active threat. This is not a drill. Initiate lockdown. Everyone froze for a second, then we dove under desks as our teacher ran to lock the door and shut off the lights. I ended up crammed next to Anne, who was already crying. Oh God, she kept saying, her whole body shaking against mine. 3 pops echoed from somewhere in the building, unmistakable for what they were, and Anne grabbed my arm so hard her nails drew blood. My best friend Josh had gym this period in the building where the shots came from, but I couldn't think about that now with 32 of us trapped in this dark classroom. That's real, someone whispered. That's actually real. Anne was texting her mom, her hands shaking, telling her she loved her. I needed to do that. More pops, definitely from inside the building, maybe the first floor. Our classroom was on the 2nd floor with only one exit and nowhere to hide if someone got through that door. My sister says there's a shooter in the gym, the kid next to me whispered, showing his phone screen. She's hiding in the equipment closet. The gym. I texted Josh quickly. Are you okay? But the message didn't deliver. We'd had a stupid fight at lunch about him borrowing my car, and I'd called him pathetic in front of everyone. What if those were the last words I ever said to him? 20 minutes in and we heard footsteps running past our door. Everyone held their breath. The handle rattled and someone let out a sob before we heard, "Police! Stay locked down!" And the footsteps continued. "They'll get him," Anne whispered. "They'll stop him." But the girl in front of us turned around and said, "My boyfriend's in the office. He says the shooter knows the building. He's using service hallways and backstairs the cops don't know about." More shots, closer this time, maybe our floor. The walls were so thin we could hear everything, every door being tried, every piece of glass breaking. Someone down the hall was screaming, then suddenly stopped, and the silence was worse than the screaming. "Someone's dead," the girl by the window whispered, reading her phone. "Multiple people shot." "Don't say that," I said, but my voice cracked because the shots kept getting closer and we had nowhere to run. Antonio messaged our group chat. "Has anyone heard from Josh?" "No," 3 people responded. Josh, please be okay." 45 minutes and the sirens were constant, but the shooting hadn't stopped. We could hear it moving through the building like thunder, sometimes distant, sometimes so close we could hear shell casings hit the floor. The fire alarm started blaring, then cut off abruptly, like someone had ripped it from the wall. "He's on the 3rd floor now," someone whispered, reading updates. "Science wing, going room by room." "That's directly above us," Anne said. "He's going to come back down." We could hear movement through the ceiling tiles, deliberate footsteps directly above us, and bits of dust drifted down as the footsteps stopped. It was like he was mapping out the rooms below, planning his route. The girl with the boyfriend kept giving updates. "They're saying he has a list. He's looking for specific people." We heard footsteps on the stairs, heavy and fast, then slow and deliberate. Our hallway. Everyone went completely silent. The footsteps stopped right outside our door. The handle turned, testing it. Someone made a muffled crying sound. The handle turned again, harder, rattling in its frame. Then the footsteps continued and we all exhaled at once. "We're going to die in here," Anne whispered. But after an hour we were still alive, still in total darkness. My legs were cramping from crouching under the desk, but moving seemed more dangerous than pain. Someone said the shooter was wearing a black hoodie and jeans, which described half the school. "He's in the main hallway," the girl with the boyfriend said, moving toward the math wing. The math wing connected to ours. He was coming back. "Turn off your phones," our teacher whispered. "No light, no sound." Complete darkness. I could hear my heartbeat, Anne's ragged breathing, someone praying under their breath, then footsteps getting closer. They stopped at the room next door. A door handle rattled, then breaking glass. We could hear him stepping through, glass crunching under his feet, desks being overturned like he was looking for someone specific. Anne grabbed my hand and squeezed so hard I thought bones might break. The footsteps came closer, stopped right outside our door. The handle turned, locked. A pause. Then 3 loud bangs as something hit the door. The frosted glass window cracked but didn't shatter. We could see a shadow through it, just standing there, waiting. He knew we were in here. He was taking his time. More bangs on the door, harder this time. The glass spiderwebbed. One more hit and he'd be through. The shadow was the right height for a student, not an adult, and something about the posture seemed familiar, but I couldn't place it through the fractured glass. The shadow shifted.
In this game, your heroes will die. A lot. With every defeat,
raised something toward the glass. This was it. We were going to die in this chemistry classroom. My phone I thought I'd turned off lit up with a text, the sound seeming impossibly loud in the silence. Everyone whispered at me to shut up, but I just stared down at the screen. From Josh. "You shouldn't have said those things at lunch." I looked up at the shadow in the window, at the familiar height, the way the shoulders curved, and realized the black hoodie was the one I'd gotten Josh for his birthday.